Hello everybody, I'm really happy to be here today. So let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Claudius Weinberger. I'm the CPO and CCO of ArangoDB, and I'm one of the co-founders. And that makes me even more excited to speak today on our first summit. And what I will give you today a little bit is an outlook to our roadmap, what happens in the next year or even beyond that with ArangoDB, what we are planning to add to ArangoDB, the new capabilities, and what we believe is really the future of a software like ours. So, as I said, quick introduction already happened. I will give you also quickly my thoughts, why graph and why it's so important, and also my way to look at graph done right. And then, as I said, we will speak a little bit about the present and especially about the futures. And then I will give you my final thoughts on what you have seen so far and what is also the outlook for the next 2 days or 1.5 days. So let's start with this slide. You have seen it maybe just before in the talk from Jörg, so he did a great job. So the value of graph databases is really to adding the relationships to your data, not simply have the simple tables and relations on that level, really have the connections, what can be much more than a simple relationship between the tables, between all your data entities. And what is really the real world, what is heavily relying on this connected data, just to give you a few examples on the right one, supply chains, production purchase, healthcare, and all of this stuff can really heavily benefit from a graph database. So I see really a huge value. So I started ArangoDB 8 years ago together with my co-founder, and we have in mind to have a graph database that can do much more than just graph. And you will see that also a little bit later. That is really a very important point from day one until today. And even if we're now saying a little bit more in the graph space, that is the most important part of ArangoDB since the beginning. And we strongly believe that that is really also where you can even benefit more from the capabilities we are adding to ArangoDB. So a graph needs simply more than, let's start, a few labels and edges. So if you just have to start again to model your nodes and can add a few labels, only a few attributes, if you have your edges, well, you even maybe can only have a few attributes, you are limited again. So we have chosen from the beginning a way that we can handle much more complex data on the nodes and edges. We can do more than a few labels. We can do complex JSON documents on both nodes and edges, and we can do even more what we come later on. And also a pure pattern matching for a graph database is obviously a very nice thing and already very helpful. But there's much more what you have to do. So we have built in a full-blown search engine where you can do full text search as you do it with other search engines in the same way and during you do your graph traversals, for example. We also added, let's say, a way that you can do graph analytics at scale. That is already in ArangoDB since a few years, and that will even more improved in the next 12 to 18 months. We will see that in a few moments in the next slides. What is important since day one as we started ArangoDB is to have ArangoDB as a scalable, horizontal scalable database. Vertical scaling is nice, and written in C++ we can do that quite well, but that is not really the way how you want to do it in the future, and even if you want to do it in a cost-efficient way. And it's more needed than just doing manual horizontal scaling, where you can do something like scaling, but you still have to handle that by yourself on the application layer to know where is which data lying in your cluster. That happens completely automatically in ArangoDB, especially with features like Smart Graph and the new one, what we're introducing today with our new release, the Enterprise Graph. That really makes a big difference. And also the analytics. I already mentioned it with the 2 points before. If you want to do analytics for really a real-world use case, that can be not limited in the amount of data. That cannot limit it to what one machine can do. That also have to be possible in huge data sets. And that is exactly what ArangoDB can do, what we can do for a long time, and we will improve it massively in the next months. And the last one, what even becomes more and more important, is the ingestion by code, or even not by code. So that is something, sure, we can do that. Everybody can do that. You have your programming language bindings, whatever you're using, JavaScript, Java, whatever else. and you can build that by your own. And you have the support for tools like Spark, Kafka, and so on, what is very important. But you need to do that much more easier. And what we will see, especially with our new releases and the new features coming today, one of them, the GraphML platform, is that we have a data loader where you can do very easily import your data into a graph from very different sources. At the beginning, it will be a few. We're adding more and more over the next months, and yeah, what you will see, at least in the next month coming, is very exciting. So what is really important is to do around graph wide is that you have to do all the stuff what I just said. Have data what is unstructured and structured at the same time in your graph database and not somewhere else where you have referring to that. You have to do much more complex, especially analytics in a graph database. You need scaling. If you have a real world use case without scaling, it's honestly, it's quite limited. And especially analytics have to be done on a large amount of data. Otherwise, let's say the value, what you can get out of it, is quite limited. Let's start with the first graph first. What we already heard from Shaker today, also from Jörg, what is very important. Just here another quote from Gartner, what I think makes very clear that that is really the future and is very important for the future. What is coming next year, let's start with Enterprise Graph 2.0. We will invent Enterprise Graph 1.0 today. It's available with our free 10 release, what is GA from today. And what even makes it much easier to handle a graph in a charted environment as you have ever seen it before. What we will add 2.0 is even a better read and write performance, an optimized memory consumption, an automatic migration from all the different ways how you can chart your data, and it gives you also more control about data types. As you know, we are using JSON, and that will also not change, but we are adding the capabilities that you can add specific data types with some schema definition, and especially for types what was highly requested from many people, what are simply not supported by JSON itself. It will be also make a change in all the drivers and programming language what we have there, because you need to handle that, but I'm quite sure that we have found a very clever way to do that, and that adds a lot of new value to your use cases. The second important point in the space of the graph first is data science 2.0. We will invent with 3.11, what comes in a few months, data science 1.0, or let's say the next one version, the next improvement of what we have today. It's a very improved data science library and built for scale. As I said before, you need analytics on scale, otherwise it really becomes, for many use cases, it's not very useful. There will be also enhanced custom traversal, what you can build by yourself, sorry for that, and what even enables you to build very complex traversals in a scaled fashion. And these custom algorithms will also be shareable with the community, in your company, with other departments, but even if you like, with the open source community. And maybe you also benefit then from others in this community who build new complex algorithms, what enables you to get more value out of your analytics or your graph analytics. But there's also a second important point, and that is cloud first. You have hopefully seen the keynote from Shaker and also Jörg, and you have already got a feeling how important that is in our opinion. And you will see that even more and more, that many companies focusing on that. Just have a quick look at this Gartner quote. You see, it's already very important today. What coming in this direction from us is a new cluster management. At first, let's say, pre-release, experimental release with 3.11, and then it will become GA with 4.0, hopefully end of next year. And what we will add is also capability that we're adding chain streams, highly requested over the last years, multi-document transactions, and even a much faster replication at all, and even faster than everything else what we have seen on the market. And also we will improve the operations on our Graph Insight platform. So there will be a new scheduling, what simply enables us to even make ArangoDB faster in the cloud, and also in a much faster way that we can handle all the different deployments that we're handling on top of AWS, Google, and Azure, Microsoft Azure. And we will be SOC 2 compliant. Yes, that is very important today. And hopefully that will be happens very soon. We are making a very good progress. And then hopefully we have to announce this very soon that we have achieved it. The migration agent, what Jörg announced today, the version 1, there will be a version 2, an extended UI to make it even more simple to use it and that everybody can really benefit quickly from that. There will be a single instance support, or let me say, we will support all the different deployment methods, what they are out there for ArangoDB, so that everybody can really benefit from that and easily move his data to our cloud, and even without any downtime. That even makes it really production enterprise grade ready. And there will be a new generation graph exploration tool. So there is graph visualization. We have something, everybody else have something. That is really nice and give you a good idea what your graph is. But there's also the clear need that you have a tool what enables you that you can even quicker understand what your graph exactly is and what the data means. And that will come with this tool also sometime later next year, but we do a very good progress on that. But let's talk about GraphML. So you heard already from Jörg, he explained it very well what that means. And I'm personally, even as one of the founders, extremely excited about GraphML because I strongly believe that is really a big step forward, not only for us as a company. I think that we're also enabling you, our customers and users, to do stuff what is extremely interesting. Let's give you a very quick overview what this platform is about. So on the left, you see all the blue boxes. That is at the end the task what you can handle with the platform. The green boxes is at the end the technical platform. We have the ETL, ELT, we have ArangoDB, the database as an enterprise scale database as the back end or backbone of this whole platform. We have our new analytics engine. We have the data science library. We have the search integration. We have all the ML connectors and stuff what Jörg just explained before. With all of that, we make it so easy that you have solutions, GraphML or Graph Analytics as a service on top of our platform. And that will enable you to make it extremely easy to build a recommendation engine with GraphML support, customer spotlights, edge prediction, classification, embeddings, all the stuff will be extremely easy to achieve without having a deep knowledge of all the different tasks what is needed for that. So I'm very excited about that. That is really a huge step forward for us and hopefully also for you. And I'm really proud to announce that we're starting GraphML, Arango GraphML today. So the summit will be the starting point. We will start the beta phase. You can sign up for that. You see the link here on this page. It will be also on our web page. We start the onboarding for all the people who are signing up at the end of October, doing it over the next months and accelerate the process for that. And we will give everybody a chance to get an understanding of what a GraphML, Arango GraphML is and what it can do for you and for everybody else. And then we plan to have a GA in Q1 next year. So I'm very excited and we hope that everybody sign up for it and give us a good feedback, what he like, what he don't like, what he wants to solve it. That enables us simply to do the next steps in the best fashion so that we're adding most value and that you can benefit from that. Let me also do my final thoughts. We had Graph first. I already said it as I started the company together with my co-founder Frank 8 years ago. We had Graph as one of the most important parts the whole time in mind. And that even gets more and more importance over the last years. And now with all the flexibility, what ArangoDB adds to a graph use case, it's even, let's say, a graph database done right. And cloud first, yes, cloud is simply the way how to run your workload in the future. It really makes it so much simpler for you and everybody else to handle this. You have not to take care about the operations. We do that for you. We know how to handle ArangoDB and how to keep you up 24/7 hours and give you all the support that you need, that you can run ArangoDB really in a production use case. And the AI-focused space is exactly what we said. This is the future, and this new platform enables you to do it very easily and with less effort as you can imagine. It's really a first low-code platform for that. Even maybe no code, but I would say let's stay with low code. That is already a huge achievement. All of that will only go with having the right customer experience. And as I said at the beginning, my role is also the COO. So what I will take care more about now is to understand better what you, our users and customers need. Also our partners are extremely important, what you're expecting from all the different offerings what we're having, and quickly turn that back into the product so that we can even improve quicker as we have done and even more focused to solve your problems. With that, I would say thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to get any question maybe after the talk, and hopefully you will enjoy it as we are doing that, and I'm looking forward to work with more of people from you in the next future.